Why is it the person who's hurt you the most is the one that you just cannot stop thinking about? Even though you know they weren't right for you, you're just continuing to replay everything in your head over and over again. You just feel stuck as if you can't move on from this person, even though they caused you so much pain. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain the reasons why you can't stop thinking about someone, even though they've hurt you. So if you're new here, my name's Rita and welcome to Empowered Love Within. On this channel, it's all about helping you achieve the abundance that you want, but from within. So if you like that type of content, hit the subscribe button and also check out the description box to find out more about my offers. So let's get into today's video. So I bet that you've been in a position where you've just felt so annoyed with yourself and you keep asking yourself, why can't I just stop thinking about this person? What's wrong with me? Well, I want you to know that there's nothing actually wrong with you. The reason why you can't stop thinking about someone who's hurt you is because your mind and your body is trying to process something that's still unresolved within you. So there are actually psychological reasons behind all of this. So one of the biggest reasons why you can't stop thinking about someone who's hurt you is because you didn't get any closure. So if you were in a situation where, let's say the relationship ended abruptly, or it was confusing, or there's things that you felt that you needed to say that you didn't get a chance to say, all of those unresolved issues are literally in your body. So your brain is trying to make sense of all of this. So hence why it's replaying the conversations, it's replaying the events that's happened, because it's trying to process it and make sense of it. So it's not that you're obsessed with them, it's that your brain is literally trying to complete the story to make sense of it. From my own experience, I spent a very long time replaying events in my head for a previous situation which didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. And I realize now that my brain was trying to just make sense of that situation, as to when you think you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, and then you realize one day that actually you're in a completely different scenario to what you thought you were. Sometimes it's like you can barely believe it, and your brain just needs that time to process everything. So why you can't stop thinking about someone even though they've hurt you? So it's that classic replaying those arguments in your head. And I think we've all done it. I get that there can be an element of processing what's happened, but the trouble is, if you become stuck in that mental loop of replaying those arguments, you're just strengthening the attachment even more, and that's going to increase the amount of time that you spend thinking about that person even though they've actually hurt you. And I've spoken about this particular point in another video where I'll talk about why you can't let go of someone who's hurt you. So if you haven't watched that video, go and watch it after this video, because I explain a lot more about the patterns of mental arguments and how that can keep you stuck. So I will link that video in the description as well, so you can click straight into it. So another reason is you actually have an emotional addiction to that person and that relationship. So when you're in a relationship that's quite toxic and there are extreme emotional highs and extreme emotional lows, your body actually becomes addicted to that cycle. And when you think about them, you're actually recreating that feeling in the body. So you're actually meeting that need and that addiction. And the more that you do that is the more that you're actually going to be reliving those feelings. So another reason is trauma bonding. So a trauma bond is created when a person hurts you, but even though they're the person that's hurting you, they also are the person that's comforting you. So you're getting both those emotions from one person. And what happens is that becomes extremely confusing for you. Mentally, it's just not good. And you actually become attached to that feeling and those extreme highs and lows. And that trauma bonding is reinforced each time you continue to think about that person that's actually hurt you. So when you can't stop thinking about someone, even though they've hurt you, you're probably stuck in that what if scenario where you're constantly asking yourself, what if I'd done something differently? What if that particular event had gone in a particular way? Would things have been different? You can spend weeks, months, and sometimes years thinking about what if scenarios. But the trouble is, when you do that, you become stuck in that. Even though you may not be in the situation physically, You're definitely in it mentally, and you're also in it spiritually. You just cannot move on when you're stuck in the what if scenarios. This happens a lot when you're grieving much more than that person. You're grieving the future you had imagined with them, the family that you thought you were going to build together, the life that you thought you were going to live out together. When you're grieving all of that, it keeps you stuck. Your mind just keeps replaying what you thought you were going to have. And again, I can speak from experience, that can be hard to get your head around. And if you don't get on top of those thoughts, you will literally be stuck and be unable to move on. So while you can't stop thinking about someone, even though they've hurt you, it's probably because you're waiting for some type of closure from them. You're waiting for that apology. You're waiting for the explanation of why they treated you poorly. But when you do that, yet again, your mind just keeps going back to the same scenario. And what you need to know is that you can't wait for closure from them. You've got to be the one that closes that chapter. And it may be without an apology or without an explanation. And you have to be okay with that. So when you can't stop thinking about someone, even though they've hurt you, it's likely become a habit. Thinking about them has more than likely become so ingrained in your life that you probably don't even realize that you're doing it. Now your brain wants to fulfill that habit by keep on circulating back to it. The other thing that I want you to know is that when you're in that relationship, you are living out a particular version of you. So when you're trying to break free from the habit, the old version of you that kept thinking about that person and wanted to be around that person is going to be like, no, don't stop thinking about them. Stay here. Keep on replaying this pattern. And you're going to have to understand that it's going to take a certain amount of effort for you to move from the old you to the new you. And that's where a lot of people actually do get stuck, because you're stuck in that old version of you and you're thinking, if I think about them enough and if I think about everything that happened enough, I'll be able to move on. But that's where you're wrong. The more you think about them is the more that you strengthen that attachment to them. And the minute you understand that is the minute that you can start to shift in order to break that pattern. So the key thing that I need you to understand is you don't need to think about them more. What you need is new thinking patterns altogether. And if you want me to do a video on how you can actually stop thinking about someone that's hurt you, comment below, let go, and I'll make a video about that next. So if this video resonated with you, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Remember to check out the description box for my offers, and I'll see you in the next video.